Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Lizzie Patriciana. I'm from Tatris Bahasa Inggris 40. Okay, now I will tell you about translation shift. Also consider a classic concept, translation shift theory, introduced by G.C. Catford through the book, which is collection of lecture material. A linguistic theory of translation is still very frequent used in the analysis of translation research. However, in some references that discussing this translation shift, there are several differences and limitations in terms of the application of the analysis, so that it can cause problems for researchers who want to apply this theory in their research. The translation shift is shared into two types, namely level shift and category shift, which are intended to achieve a good level of equivalence for the quality of the resulting translation, either because there is no formal correspondence or caused by other reasons. For example, because of the style of writing, choice of words, or translator wishes. Category shift is further divided into four subsections, namely structure shift, class shift, unit shift, and inter-system shift. In this article, the author tried to revisit the classic translation shift theory, which introduced by Catford, by applying it to the translation example from English to Indonesian or vice versa. In the transfer process, a translator transfers the source language script into the target language script by paying attention to various adjustments. The adjustments presented by Nida and Tabor are divided into two groups, namely structural adjustment and semantic adjustment. According to them, these two forms of adjustment result in a shift. Structural adjustment will result in a shift in language form, while semantic adjustment will result in a shift in meaning. Catford states that shifts as departures from formal correspondence in the process of going from the source language to the target language. Translation shift is a theory that was first introduced by John Catford in his book A Linguistic Theory of Translation. Catford explains that a change occurs or can occur in the translation process so that a shift in the structure is formed. This is due to the attempt to embody the systematic difference between the source language and the target language. Basically, this theory highlights syntax and semantic change to produce an acceptable and equivalent translation. Catford divides translation shift into two types, level shift and category shift. And first, level shift. In this concept, the translation shift occurs at the grammatical level to the lexicon level in the target language. Example, he is watching. The grammatical structure to be plus verb ing in English changes lexically to medium in Indonesian. And then category shift. This type of translation shifts occurs due to the free translation process so that it is not fixed on the equivalent of the grammatical level of the source language and the target language. Translation with this method is considered normal because the main focus is on the appropriateness or acceptance of a target text for speaker of the target language. Category shift is divided into several types. Structure shift. Change in the grammatical structure of the source language with the target language. Catford believes that grammatical structure shifts are the most common type of translation shift because change can occur at all language levels. Example, round. Class shift. The translation of one part of the source text into the target text at a different word class level. Verbs are translated into nouns. Example, annual report. Annual adjective becomes annual noun. Catford believed that structural shift inevitably involved class shift. This can be proven by comparing the example of structural shift and class shift present above. Unit shift changes occur at the level of grammatical units of language. For example, shifting from morphemes to words to process, clause to sentence, and vice versa. Example, impossible word becomes impossible process. Intra-system shift change occurs internally in a language system. The shift that occurs here takes place at a level that is not mutually exclusive between Su and Sa, even though they both have similar systems. Each language has its own noun formation system, and there are some languages that use an article system for their nouns. Therefore, when the translation process is carried out, the translation equivalents at this level may experience a shift. Example, scissors plural becomes scissor singular. Their spiegel article becomes a mirror without article. Catford said that there are two factors that cause translation shift, namely linguistic factors and cultural factors. Linguistically, a shift can be formed due to the constrained definition of objects and the abstract meaning of words. On the other hand, shifts also occur due to cultural influence when a language component only applies and is understood by a group of speakers who have the same cultural background. Okay guys, I think just that. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.